I know we need to get back to like a I need to just do a spreadsheet to where we carry a balance.
I don't know if I want that.
No, I mean, what if we're not saying we got to pay out, but it'll be fun to just have like a long list, like a long lasting balance.
I don't know if we've ever collected any of our, not one.
Yeah, it's not important. The important part is the bet. Like, and so that's what I mean. We can make it like slowly increase our wagers. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody's like, they are fucking putting bank on these fights. It's like,
I like it. I like where you're going with it.
Yes.
Those were some good fights, man, by the way. I'll tell you what, I don't want to jump into it quite yet. I'm going to let you have the pleasure and the honor of introducing our special guest of the evening. Chad, take it away.
All right. On the podcast this evening, episode number 55, it is the lovely Miss Victoria Dammerell, formerly Demchenko. 7 years of marriage tonight, August 17th, our anniversary.
Congratulations.
So today we were married in Elk River, Idaho.
And God, what a wedding.
It was a blast. You guys have heard us talk about it a bunch. She's here on the podcast with us right now. And we just got back from an amazing dinner. And I'm happy that she came out here with me, especially the thermostat has it cooled down to 89 in the shop.
Nice. Mine's at 88. So I'm with you on that.
We're even temp, bro. We're good.
So for the listeners, let's lay the legit background. This is your guys' 7-year anniversary. Mm-hmm. I want to rewind this back to day one when you were walking through that grocery store, Chad, and you seen that little blonde Russian girl, handing out samples of some bullshit,
some weird ass nasty rice thing or something, bro, like a box of rice.
So let's hear it. I've heard your story before, but I want to hear it from Victoria's side. How did you feel about Chad when you seen his ass walking up to you in that grocery store?
Okay, so what I remember is, I was talking to an older lady and she was loving my rice. And I remember seeing him and his friend, and I remember him like looking back at me and smiling, and I was like, ooh, hi. And then he just left. And then I was just like, just chilling there. And then finally he comes back and I remember he said, I don't want any of your nasty ass samples, but I think you're prettier than shit. Can I have your number? And I was so excited. I was like, oh, yes. And then I was talking to my friend like that night, and I was like, I just gave a guy my number, and he said I'm prettier than shit.
So at that point, how old were you at the time?
I was 18. I was 18. My 19th birthday was like 2 weeks away.
Oh yeah, so you're still young.
Yeah.
You probably never had a guy like Chad come up to you. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Prettier than shit, huh? That's the best line you could come up with?
Dude, well, the worst part is I didn't even think it was a line. Never thought twice about saying it. Have no clue how many times I'd said it in my life until like
he always says it.
3 months later, she told me, do you realize you told me I'm prettier than shit? And I was like, well, and I'm like, oh. Yeah. Never crossed my mind. I was nervous as fuck though. So
it's amazing that worked. Now Isaac was with you, right?
No, it was Daniel.
Daniel was with you. Okay. So going back to that, Chad, what was going through your head going up to her? And did you think that it was just like whatever's going to happen?
It was like, I seen her, like I said, when I smiled at her, I seen her eye like twinkle. And mind you, she had a hairnet. I had no idea she had big old titties. Like she just had a beautiful smile and eyes. She had the prettiest eyes I've ever seen in my life. That's literally what I remember. And like me and Daniel were checked out, going to walk out the door. And that's when I'm like, fuck, dude, I can't stop thinking. I gotta go. I'm like, fuck, I gotta go do this. I'm like, and I was hella scared, dude. But then I walked around the corner and I waited because some old ladies were there with it. And I waited for them to leave. And that's when like, I just went in. So that's probably why I came out strong. Like, hey, I don't want none of this nasty ass shit. Like I got to get this out while I'm being brave for a second.
So you get her number, I assume, right? I mean, is that how it works?
Yes, I gave him my number, and he called me like, I think a week later.
No, it was probably like a day later.
No, I know that it was.
You made her wait.
4 or 5 days. I think it was a week later because I remember you left me a message, and I think I was at work, and I only worked weekends.
Oh, it would make sense though, because the Amblers Club would have been a weekend, and I would have probably hit you up
Yeah.
around that Wednesday, Thursday to see what's up for the next weekend.
Yeah.
You know,
So where did you have any idea where you were going to take her, or did you take
right up, bro. Movies and Chili's.
movies and Chili's, huh? Was that your go-to date at the time, or what?
Fucking just, I mean, good restaurant and a movie. Like, I'll take you out to dinner. It was Outback or Chili's in my mind. Like, that's it. Those are the only two good places to eat in town.
You know that Outback's closed?
Is it?
Oh, no.
Yeah, like abandoned. Bunch of
Wow.
homeless living in it.
Fucking crazy.
Oh.
That is
Yeah.
nuts. But
Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, that was it. And then fucking, I mean, we
You
ended up
looked
going
up the wrong
Chili's.
movie times.
Yeah. It wasn't the wrong movie times. I went to the wrong.
The Lodi movie theater. We
Yeah.
were going to the Stockton one.
We can't remember what movie we were going to see, but like I said, we get there and I'm like, yeah, we're here for the da-da-da at 7. And they're like, we're not playing that movie. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, I look at her, I'm like, oh my God. I looked at the fucking movie for Lodi, not here. And she's like, it's okay. We can just watch something else. And I'm like, all right. And we watched Prince of Persia.
Okay.
So it was good. It was good.
So all right, let's flash forward a little bit. Okay. Just a hair. So how long did it take you to finally pull the trigger, ask her to be your girlfriend, get through all that?
Like a month and a half.
Yeah, just about a month and a half.
Month and a half. That's pretty good. That's not too long. It's not, keeping her waiting on the side.
August 4th.
Yeah, August 14th. So that's why, like, it was 10 years that we've been together a few days ago. And then that was why we chose, like, August, the 17th was our anniversary because we were like, oh, it's right around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. She took care of me. Isaac had a birthday party, like, early because his sister was going out of town. And so we went to Isaac's birthday bash and I got fucked up. And she had to take care of me that night. And I remember, like, in my mind, you were wearing white capris, but you keep saying you weren't.
I was wearing white pants. You're right.
You were wearing white pants. Yeah. She was wearing, like, white capris or whatever. And I remember, like, her dancing shit. And me and Isaac are just getting fucked up, bro. Like, Southern Comfort. Like,
yeah, his mom gave me a beer and I was drinking it and I was like dancing with the girls. And then I look over to the island that was at Isaac's house and Chad was holding 2 bottles of liquor. And I was like, I guess I'm driving. So
I wasn't thinking that at that point.
So how bad fucked up did you get, Chad?
He got so fucked up, Dave.
Oh,
I had a brand new BMW, mind you. It's at that Trinity Parkway, so you're like driving and there's nowhere to freaking pull over. And he's like, I gotta throw up. And I'm like, not in my car. So I pull over in the middle of an intersection. He vomits just like opens the door and vomits. And then we keep driving. We get to his house and he gets to his lawn and he's like just swinging back and forth and just vomits all over the lawn. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not cleaning this up. And then we get in the house and his mom is sleeping on the couch. And I'm like, fuck, never met her.
What a way to meet your mom for the first time, Chad.
Well, I think she kind of pretended that she was sleeping because I like saw her move a little bit, but then she like laid back down. And then I took him up, took his clothes off, put him in bed, went downstairs, got him water, and then she was probably like, "Oh, you know where everything is at."
That was your first time at the Bud House, or you'd been there before?
3rd time there.
Yeah, you've been there a few times.
Okay, so you kind of had an idea of where everything was.
Yeah, so I got him water and I like took it and I was like, all right, peace out. And then I went downstairs and I saw like mom like kind of pop her head and I was like, good night. And then I left.
My mom did. She's seen it all because she says to this day, she goes, I knew I loved that girl when I seen her. Apparently I was like crawling up the stairs and she goes, I seen her like truly supporting me, like holding my butt, pushing me, like working hard to get me up the stairs. She's like,
that's a sweetheart right there.
She was so sweet and she was happy through the whole thing and shit. And then the next morning, like I called her, I was like, hey, can you, take me back to go get my truck? And she did. And that's when I asked her to be my girlfriend. And so, I asked a couple other things, but
yeah. So I'll tell you this, when me and Amanda first got together, there was one night on my birthday that I just got sloshed, like blacked out, puked in her driveway, the whole shebang. Kind of sound like your event, but I remember how well she took care of me. And I woke up at my house, like food, water right next to my bed. And like, I mean, what that does for a drunk asshole like us is it just makes us feel like so loved.
Well, yeah. Well, it's so loved. Same time, it's so not judged.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
well, maybe you're judging me, but you're like, you're taking care of me while you're doing it. And that's nice. You know, like I
So
know
was
you're happy about this, but you're responding in such a nice way.
so Chad, was that the famous party that you told everyone that she was like a Russian porn star?
That's
And
the party, but I didn't tell him that. Isaac did.
okay.
Isaac's trainer Jasper, he had told that she was he's like, who the fuck is that girl? And Isaac's like, yo, bro, that, you know, she's with Chad tonight, but she's a Russian porn star, bro. That's what it, so he just as a fucking goof, bro. And Jasper all fucking night following us and like kept looking, dude.
He would follow me everywhere.
He didn't give a fuck when I was out there or anything too. He just looked at me.
Shit. He just kept
He's like,
talking
so
to
I
me.
fights for emperor. You remember he kept talking about like
he
fighting
fights for the emperor,
fought for his country and all this shit, dude. And like just like going and then yeah, forever, dude. Fucking texting Isaac. Isaac said like months later he'd still be like, I cannot find her online. I can't find her. And then Tachi Palace.
Yeah, I went because where the fights were, you couldn't smoke, so I had to go. I don't remember if it was upstairs or downstairs to the casino, and so I went to go smoke, and then I see Jasper and two bodyguards, huge ass dudes. Jasper is half my height, and he sees me, and I'm like, fuck, and he like runs over there. He's like, you, and I'm like, hi, and he's like, oh, come to me, and I'm something like that, and I'm like, I gotta go back.
Dude, and like I remember that night, you know, Isaac was fighting, so they were there and he was fucking he was all about it again, dude. Like, yes, like you could tell all that pent up, like fucking he'd probably been whacking off for months thinking about it, bro. And he's like, she's here.
How many blonde Russian porn stars do you think he jacked off to in that time span in between?
Ivana Sugar, definitely. Because I know that one. So out there, Google Ivana Sugar. She's cool.
So let me ask you this, Chad. I don't know if you've ever told Victoria this, but what made you decide that that was the moment you needed her to be your girlfriend? What was it? What was that defining moment, would you say?
Well, we've talked a bunch, but like at that point in time, like I've told her this, like it was just she was super sweet. She was easy to hang out with. And like to be honest, like I never in a million years thought I would have married her. I didn't think it was going to be anything serious. I just knew that like she was fun. So that was
yeah, and he was very honest with me too. When we like were officially boyfriend and girlfriend, he told me that he didn't want anything serious. Yeah, just very upfront and blunt. And
sorry,
even when he asked me to marry him, I was completely surprised because I really didn't think that it was going that way.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I mean, were you on the same boat with Chad? Were you like all about it? Like, hey, I'm down to have fun with this guy. He's a great fun time.
At that point in my life, like I just moved back in with my mom, moved to Stockton. I didn't really think that I ever wanted to get married.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was on the same page.
Yeah. And for the listeners, you grew up in Modesto, right? Modesto area, or
yeah.
So being new to Stockton, I mean, Stockton has a bad reputation of some fucking crazy people. You got lucky.
Yeah, I did.
Well, we should say, listeners, I don't know if they've heard. We always make the joke direction, but she was born in Krasnodar, right?
Yeah.
Is it actually Krasnodar, or is it? You said like a village outside Krasnodar, right?
My birth certificate says in the village of Krasnodar.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. You got all defensive. I'm not. You hear that?
So what like part of Russia is Krasnodar?
Well, so it's the way that I always remind myself is, because you know I haven't been there in so long, is it took us an entire day train ride to get to Moscow. So it's like south of Moscow by the Black Sea.
Oh wow.
It's actually it's in Europe, you know.
Yeah, like
versus-
all the way
yeah,
to the
Asia.
west.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's just crazy. Like, I mean, I've never even fucking thought about going to Russia. Like, I mean, the chances of me getting over there, and I mean, it's pretty tough unless I'm an MMA fighter.
We're excited. We're gonna go.
Yeah,
you
we're
know,
gonna go one day.
when we do it. So this is what I like you. So you moved when you were 8, right?
Yeah.
8 years old. Do you remember that trip?
Excuse me. Kind of. I remember like parts of it because everything was kind of so scattered. I remember us moving from place to place, like the last like 6 months to a year that we were in Russia. I remember us like first like moving house to house to house to apartment, and then we lived in a hotel for a while, and then just all of a sudden like we were on a plane, and I remember being scared of the airport, the plane, and then yeah, we were here.
You
Looking
in
back,
Florida, right?
Yeah.
looking back, I mean, in hindsight and everything, were you guys just trying to place yourselves before you guys came over here, or what was the total purpose of all the moving around at the end? If you can get into it,
It's recorded because I'm not really allowed to speak about lots of stuff.
you could
Yeah.
you could talk vaguely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, paraphrasing guys. So we applied for visas, and from what my dad has told me, not sober, because I don't remember, the legalities of everything.
Yeah.
So my recollections are him telling me when he's under the influence, that we were denied for like an official visa. So when things started happening that we were scared for our lives, we applied for like refugees,
Mhm.
and we came here.
Yeah. So then Chad was saying you ended up in Florida after that point, right? And let's just approximate an age if you can remember.
I remember we got to Sacramento in July of '99, I think. That's
Look
gonna
at that. What a
Why?
sweet guy.
It was a torch. She just, I think,
Took out my hair.
what a gentleman. She's got
It's in an
fucking-
eyebrow.
I'm gonna grab a drink. Do you want one, babe?
I'm okay, thank you, honey.
So
Yeah,
so you get here in 1999, you were saying?
Yeah, so I remember in July of 1999 we were in Sacramento because my dad's brother lived in Sacramento, so that's why we went there. Is he housed us for a while until my dad found a job in Modesto.
Mama says hello,
Hi.
Myrna. She's watching. So you end up in Sacramento because your dad had some family here, right?
Yeah, uncle was there with his family.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so that's, I mean, how if it's all right for me to ask, how did your uncle get here? Did he have to go through the visa process and do all that too?
No idea, to be honest. I have never asked.
Dude, it was funny when we first started dating. Like, obviously, she read me like instantly.
Yeah.
We're just bullshitting. She's like, I remember just sitting on the couch. Like, I didn't ask her, like, do you have a green card? I didn't ask that. But out of nowhere, she's like, I have a green card. Like, and I'm like, oh. I was like, can I see it? I always want to see her. Are they actually green? And she's like, no, check it out. Da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I remember in the back of my mind, I was like, she knew exactly what I was thinking. Like, okay, if I could be messing around with this illegal, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but
How far into it?
Real bad.
How far into it were you when you found out she wasn't like a U.S. citizen at that point?
Oh, it was right
like our
away.
second, third date.
Yeah. We were talking about that, and she's like, that's when I learned what like a permanent resident was and stuff like that. Like, I didn't have a clue that was even a thing. Like, found out too, a lot of people will say they're citizens, and they're not yet, nothing against it, but they just got that permanent residency. So and just recently, last year,
almost 2 years ago.
almost 2 years now.
Almost
yeah.
2 years.
She put her, dude, she fucking got down, bro, and got her citizenship.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, like,
I remember that
they
video.
took-
That was
thank you. How long were they saying?
Well, the reason why people were telling me that it was going to take so long because it was in like California wise, because there's so many people that go through that process.
The waiting
in
list,
California.
right?
Yeah, it takes so long to like get an interview, get your test in, then get sworn in and all that stuff. But we went to Spokane, and even though there was like 140 of us that got sworn in that day,
at least, yeah.
But it was so fast. I sent in my application. Less than 2 weeks later, I got a letter saying I have an interview in a month. And then I went to my interview. No, first it was getting fingerprinted and stuff like that. Then I had my interview. It was like every 6 weeks I went up there. So I got my fingerprints, then my interview, and a test, which
all in the dead of fucking
test.
winter and snow blizzards, by the way.
Yeah.
2 hours in fucking snow blizzards for her.
Yeah, the first time it wasn't that bad because your dad went with me and the roads were fine. The second time I went by myself and Grandma watched Axel for me, and I was like, thank God I do not have my child because I can't even see where the fuck the road is. And I was going like 25 to 30 miles an hour where you're supposed to be going like 60.
Yeah.
I can't see the road, so I just hope I'm doing good.
How many times did you have to go out there? A couple times?
It was 1, 2, 3.
I think
3 times.
Yeah. Dude, and she got like that third time was the test.
Yeah.
And that's when you realize how fucking spoiled we are as like being here in America, because I don't know if I would have fucking passed the test, bro. I probably would have got like 60.
You would have, honestly, like the way that they say it, because I remember like wanting to be a citizen for a very long time, and I was eligible to be a citizen. Like even when we got married, I was already eligible to be a citizen. But you know, it costs money and all that stuff. And everybody was saying like, oh, it's going to take so long. The test is so hard, blah, blah, blah. They asked me like 3 fucking questions and made me write 1 sentence in English. And I was like, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for my entire life.
The pamphlet they gave her though was stacked, bro.
Yeah. It was a huge thing.
And like, she's like going through all these questions and like, I'm reading them to her because she's like, can you quiz me? So I quizzed her and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know the answers to these questions, dog. Like, I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, can you give us a couple examples of like a few of the questions like they may potentially ask or that was in the study material?
Yeah, so most of it was like chronological order. First, like they tell you like you have to know the first 10 Bill of Rights for the most part is like, you know, right to bear arms, blah, blah, blah. And then they ask you like the most important amendments to like memorize those. Then you had to memorize like your governor, your representatives in the House and the Senate of your state. And then they went through like chronologically ordered of history events of like the war of this, or when did the United States get their independence, who was part of it, like answer, like give me 1 of 3 of them and stuff like that. And and all up until even Trump was in there too, you know, like who is your president now, stuff like that.
That's crazy. I mean, that's a lot of information. I remember like being in elementary school and they make you remember and recite the Bill of Rights and the preamble of the Constitution. I couldn't remember all of that now. I
was so excited because I was so prepared. I knew absolutely everything. And they asked me like the easiest fucking questions. I don't remember all of the questions, but I remember one of them was like, in the original flag, how many stars were there? I'm like, 13. And I was like, this is it. This is it.
Yeah, this is it. I was waiting for some hard ones.
I was like so excited.
Give me more.
Like,
in my country, by question 2, it's calculus. Okay, there's no bullshit. A little
and
what
it was like
dates?
The easiest sentence too. It was like I swear to the American flag or something like that. And I'm like, okay.
That's what she goes. She comes home. She's like, you know the fucking sentence that people can't say or something. She was fucking
Well,
livid.
there was a woman in front of me when I was in the waiting area, and the interviewer came out to her husband and was like, I cannot pass her because she is not writing the sentence correctly. And when I did the sentence, I was like, oh my God. Like, it's actually an actual test for people.
Dude, it was really cool to witness too, like to be in there. It was emotional, bro. Like,
oh yeah, I bet.
I mean, you got to figure too. So
ceremony.
they all get a number and they go sit in their seats, and then everyone's family is dispersed in the remaining seats around.
Mm-hmm.
Really, like, it's kind of like, it's amazing to see because you realize what America is supposed to be about. Like when they're telling you like, your allegiance is to America now.
Yeah.
You denounce any allegiance to any other country.
Yeah.
Because now you're an American. That's an oath that you take to be an American. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we were watching that, and then you see these bro, there was like multiple people. It wasn't Zimbabwe. Where were they from?
Oh God, I don't remember.
Yeah, but there was multiple families from this African country, and they come over they met each other in the army.
Yeah.
And so then like they went their separate ways, and then through getting their citizenship, they re-met each other. So their families are there, and they were getting there, and like hearing what it meant to them and all the people in there, it like gives you a real deep insight that like, I don't know outside of that. Like you do hear the California waiting list is so long, and what different people have to go through, but all I can say is like it makes you appreciate that much more people going through it.
When I first tried to get my citizenship when we were engaged, I went to the Sacramento area, whatever it was called. And the swearing in area is like, I think it was like 5 times bigger than what we did in Spokane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the one I remember you posted like a little part of you going up there, them calling your name or something like that. I remember I watched it and I was really excited for you. Yeah. And the first thing I thought she was already a citizen after they got married. Like it just, automatically.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people do come here, and then how they get their citizenship is to marry an American citizen. And I think that one is you have to live here for 3 years and be married, and then you're eligible. On your own, you have to have a green card for 10 years, and then you're eligible to become a citizen.
Well, you commonly hear that phrase Russian bride, and I mean, it is a common thing. Like I've went a lot of places in Sacramento and, went to go check out their heating and air systems, and they have a legit wife there that does not speak a word of English.
Yep.
The guy's bald, overweight, looks like definitely not a ladies' man.
I would way rather have a Russian mail order bride that spoke some English than just Russian, because it is such an aggressive language that like, I'd be like, she's talking shit on me all day. I fucking guarantee it. Meanwhile, she could be saying the sweetest shit. But
well, I have a love story I experienced. So one of my mom's friends did not know a lick of English, and she lived in Modesto, and she met a man in a grocery store at the Rayleigh's one that's like all the way out where the new high school is in Modesto, like by Riverbank.
Okay.
So they met, and she did not speak any English at all, but they just kind of started dating, and he was using like an app to talk to her, and she would try to learn a little bit of English. Well, they ended up getting married. Like, I think it was like a year into knowing each other. And, like I would go over to their house and like, hang out with her and stuff like that, and kind of translate sometimes when she didn't know how to express herself. They're still married too.
That's like a movie right there. That's freaking cool.
That is pretty cool. Trevor says first rule of Russian Bride Club.
We do not.
We got a few people watching right now. We got Mark, we got Enrique, we got Jason Walker, we got Trevor. What's up, listeners of Sinner and the Saint? Just want to say what's up. So you guys have been together 7 years now.
We've been together and married 7.
Sorry. You guys have been married for 7 years. Now, about 3 years ago, close to your guys' anniversary, you guys had a little surprise, huh?
Boom. Accident danger motherfucking Dammerell. Victoria's broke on our anniversary. We were getting ready to go to dinner. I just hear dying laughing. I fucking open the fucking door to the garage, dude, and she's standing there. She's wearing a dress, and she's like...
I was in a towel.
Oh, it was a towel? Oh.
Okay, so what happened was, I remember, because your parents were there, because Axel was about to be born soon. And I remember we were talking about where we're going to dinner, and I remember sitting on the couch, I'm like, oh my God, I think I just pissed myself. Oh, fuck. So I went in the room, and I changed. And I came back, sat down, I was like, oh my God, what the hell? I was like, it's fucking pregnancy shit. Like, okay, I gotta go change. And then I went in the room, and I was like, fuck, like, I'm hella fat. So I only have like so many clothes. So I was like, okay, I got to go in the dryer and go get another pair of shorts. And then that's when I had like a towel around me to go through the living room to get to the to get to the garage. And then I just remember like I stepped down that last step and it just went boom.
Dude.
And it wasn't like water breaking, how people say, oh, it just trickles down. Like, no, it was a straight up freaking faucet.
When I went out there, it was like
water balloon, right?
No, it was like a faucet. It did not stop for like
bro,
a minute.
That's what I'm saying. When I went out there, it's like a fucking bucket overflowing, dog, for like a minute. I'm like, I thought it all just falls out. It's just fucking.
And I'm dying laughing, and it's still coming out.
Dude, as she's laughing, it's just, dude, not fucking dripping, like fucking, like a shitload. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, every movie ever is fucking bullshit, dog. This is fucking crazy. It was crazy.
Oh, that's tight though. Like, I mean, looking back, thinking about it, like not very often do couples get to celebrate their anniversary and, you know, going into labor and, you know, preparing for the birth of their kid. That's awesome.
It sucked for her. I mean, she was in labor for 22 hours or whatever, and he would end up being born the next day, which is kind of thankful that we do get our anniversary, his birthday, like at least a day in between. The same day, it would have sucked because, I mean, when were we going to celebrate him?
Yeah.
So, nah. But it was wild, man. And we've been, I mean, it was our even our story together, dude's been nothing, you know, shy of fucking just something fucking crazy. We
were just talking like about all the stuff that happened even before we got married. It felt like it was like more than 3 years.
And it was 2 years before I proposed to her. But when I think about all the shit we did just as a boyfriend and girlfriend dating, I'm like, that was fucking only in 2 years? Yeah. It's fucking insane, dude.
I remember you were promoting fights during that time. She was still your girlfriend. And by the end of it, she was your wife, I think.
Well, she was my fiance.
We were engaged.
Well, that's what we went to do the fight in Idaho. She got in the wreck. And then she flew down for the last Hooked on Endorphin show that we ever promoted. And then after that is when I went to work in Rhode Island and all that. And then that pretty much promotions. So, like I said, she had, you know, you guys heard her, you know, she had a brand new BMW when she met me. She had a 4.0 in college. And, you know, I was like, hey, none of this stuff's important. Like, check out this Honda Civic. What? I'm like, yo, fuck college. Why don't you just fucking try some of these pizza rolls? A little bit of French fries, some fry sauce, fucking, you know what I mean? Like, hey, what's a little bit of this and that gonna hurt you on the weekend? I said, just try it, live it. Yeah. Now you're working at a gym part-time in kids club.
Hey, we got Bobby saying what's up to everyone. Hi, Bobby's online. So hey, Victoria, I know you've kind of been a fight fan for a while, but were you always a fight fan even before meeting Chad? And because you keep up with the fights better than Chad does half the time.
Well, I've been pretty bad about the summer because I've been working every weekend. But I remember, like, my first fights that I ever watched was WWE when I was, like, I think 9 or 10. Me and my sister had this garage sale, and we lived in a trailer park, and we had a garage sale, and we made enough money to buy this, like, itty-bitty little TV because, you know, we were poor. And I remember, like, my mom would never let me watch them. So I'd, like, wait until, like, her and my dad would, like, go out to the porch. And, like, I'd turn it on, like, heck low and, like, watch it at 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh, yes. And then UFC, like, I could only catch it if it was for free or if I was, like, at someone else's house. Because I did, you know, I don't even remember if my mom had a TV, like, later on when I moved in with her. But, yeah, we didn't have a TV for a while. So, yeah, it was just, like, if I could catch it, basically.
That's
you know, watch the fights all the time.
We went
together.
to a lot of fights too in the beginning.
Yeah,
we were always going to fights.
Yeah. You guys went to a lot of the Tachi. I mean, you guys were all over actually. It wasn't just Tachi Palace. It was, I mean,
all the local promotions, especially when we were dating, because O'Reilly's Bar. And then I made it like part of my job essentially to go out every weekend to the local Cage Combat had dissolved by then, so it was badge versus badge. It was proving grounds. Yeah,
Cage Combat was such a good MMA organization.
Cage Combat was absolutely legit, and when they come back, I thought they were going to come back with a force. But what killed regional MMA outside of the casinos was straight up camo,
amateur, not being the guys.
It killed the pro. That's what's crazy is it killed the pro circuit outside of casinos because, I mean, you didn't have to pay the fighters.
Yeah.
So instead of, either way, the commission, by the way, the commission for a professional fight for the California State Athletic Commission costs exactly the same as camo for an amateur fight. So that sucks,
As a
right?
promoter
But
standpoint, why wouldn't you throw a camo?
because you don't pay the amateurs, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, just if you start getting creative, like, oh, if you sell more tickets, you can make some money off that and sponsorships and this and that. So you get to play the same game that you play with pros, but you're doing it with amateurs. And the truth is, if you get locked on to dedicated amateurs, you have way more of a loyal fighter than like, pros that are just like, yo, whoever's going to pay me the most, I'm going to get it. Because the amateurs are still like, just fucking, they're fighting for free, man.
They're hungry. Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you're a hustler, but they're all hungry. So I think, and then that's what it turned into is like, hey, let's have 8 amateur fights and 2 pros.
Yeah.
And Cage Combat was gone. Gladiator Challenge stayed around, but not like they were before.
No.
Like before Camo came along, local pro MMA shows like Cage Combat,
they were good, man.
In shit, man.
So that one that you fought for in Sacramento, the Pure Combat or whatever it was called.
Yeah, they come back now. They're in like the Northwest. Al Jocelyn's still running that, doing a good job. So
wow, that's good. I didn't know they were still around. That's tight.
Yeah, they're staying in the West. He's doing a good comeback though. He really is. So
yeah. So I assume you guys watch the fights, and we'll segue into that this weekend. Those fights, I thought they were good. Just to give everyone like a little heads up on what happened in California, Stockton decided to turn off everyone's power right at 7:00.
Oh,
and
when it happened,
dude, 7:00, or maybe 6:45, I'm driving to Sean's house, getting ready to pick up some beer. And then all of a sudden the red light goes out. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. I'm driving through and every red light in town's out. And then I get to Sean's and he's like, yeah, my power's out. I'm like, fuck, that's not good. So we ended up going to Lodi and I had to stream it on the laptop, but whatever.
Good. It was funny. I got, because I think you told me first that someone's power's out or something.
Yeah, I think I saw someone on Facebook post.
Yeah.
Oh, it was our neighbor, Julie.
Oh, yeah.
Our old neighbor in Dorado.
She goes, yeah, their power's out. I fucking believe it. It's 110. I'm like, oh, man. And then like, I just constantly check my emails and I got, I'm like, what the fuck is that one? And it's a PG&E saying, hey, power outage in the areas due to heat wave, scheduled power outages, this and that. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I hear you and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? That sucks, dude.
Yeah, it was horrible. I mean, it's the worst case scenario on a trilogy fight.
Boy, a pay-per-view, like you're excited, you're going through all the craziness in the world. It's like, oh, they now cut out my fucking power in the middle of a heat wave. Thanks, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
And it was getting hot in people's houses quick. Like the 10 minutes I was at Sean's house, it already rise like 5 degrees. Dude, it's bad.
Crazy. Our AC right now can't keep up. It's 79. Fucking wish I knew a good guy in the industry. Anyway. But no, yeah. I can't imagine going out.
So, I mean, okay, let's look back to him. Victoria, you said you had the results pulled up?
Yeah.
Boom.
I got the main card right.
Burns versus oh man, I can't remember his name.
Pineda.
Oh, Pineda.
Yeah, I thought Burns was going to tap him out. I definitely thought he was going to do a little bit of jiu-jitsu on the guy.
I don't remember who I went with on that one.
You went with the other guy.
Yeah.
The guy that won.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. I did good on the main card.
I thought that Burns was going to win except that he was going through a good streak.
Yeah.
Everybody was so hyped on him.
Well, and then I realized the reason I was thinking he was on a streak is like I was thinking Gilbert Burns.
Oh.
And then like Herbert Burns, I didn't really know. I was like, Gilbert Burns was supposed to fight for the title. And then I'm like, wait, Herbert Burns. I'm like, no, that's not him. I was like, maybe it's his brother trying to make a debut for the other guy.
I thought the Junior Dos Anjos fight was interesting. I didn't know that they talked about sparring before that.
Oh,
When
I
Joe Rogan was saying that on the commentary, he said Junior offered Rosenstrike to spar with him sometime during the training camp. I had no idea.
I thought it looked like Rosenstruck at first was like
tired.
Well, like in shock, like, oh shit, I'm in here now.
Yeah,
like,
he got stunned a couple times, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
remember once.
I think he was a little like starstruck, like, oh shit, S is in front of me. But then he fucking just turned it on. It was good.
Yeah,
he got
I mean, he hit him pretty hard, and I don't know how much of a chin JDS still has. I just, it seems like every time he takes a good shot, he goes out.
Yeah, he wasn't way better. He looked way more ripped.
Really confident too.
Yeah. Well, he is good. Who knows all the people he knocks out in the gym too? You know, like when you're that guy, it just sucks, man. Then he gets clipped. You know, like he did. He just got hit, man. So,
yeah. What do you think's next for JDS?
Man, I think he's just a gatekeeper now. I mean, he's got a name. He's got a highlight reel. Like, check it out. Not a boring fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've seen all the tweets. Everybody's like, ooh, on the edge of your seats. So, and he was competitive enough to where he probably still feels like he can run for the title. You know, he was in great shape looking like that. So for the UFC, it's like, cool. He'll be a top 5 gatekeeper. You know what I mean? Like,
they need somebody in the heavyweight division for that.
He, you know, and if you look at it from their perspective, like he definitely can't ask for a pay raise. You know, with everybody in there asking for pay raises, like in the middle, it drives me fucking nuts. In the middle of a pandemic, everybody's like, "Yo, you need to pay me more to fight in an empty arena with no fans or concessions." Like,
where everyone's losing money now, and you want more.
More, like, dude, like you guys are fucking insane. Like you realize you get paid nothing when you don't fight, right? Like,
Now with Sean O'Malley, with his injury in that, like, I mean, that was such a bummer. Like for me, like that was the worst possible outcome. I would have rather him get KO'd and come back again and do all that than to get injured.
I saw that he got and he got x-rayed and stuff, and there's nothing broken or anything like that, but it's so swelled that they couldn't even do an MRI yet.
Yeah, they got to go see if there's some ligament or tendon tears or damage from that. But
well, what's crazy, like how they were talking about Michael Chandler when that happened in his fight, and it was just a nerves thing.
And
that's what, like, his foot went like flopped around, and he was stepping on basically like his ankle bone.
Well, and recently Cejudo against Johnson.
Yeah,
same thing happened for like a whole round. He was walking around on his ankle.
Yeah, like
so
it was, and then but I don't know. But you could tell Sugar was off from the beginning. Like I was pumped too, man. I don't know.
Me too. I thought that he was ready to go. He was gonna do top 10.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, homeboy that put him out, man, that dude he's
going really, really good.
Dude, when we were watching his training, and I'm like, dude, he's fucking fast. Like, and you could tell, like, there's guys that say, like, I'm in there to hurt somebody, you know, blah, 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 like that whole narrative.
Yeah.
But in my heart, when I listen to him say it, I'm like, nah, that dude's pretty fucking for real.
Well,
like,
you can see it in his eyes too. Like he's hungry.
Yeah, he's like, I fucking fuck this motherfucker. You know, that's what I got from him. Like, oh yeah, he's real cute. Like, cool, bro. Like, I can't fucking wait to hurt you. Like, not for the cameras. Like, that dude probably goes to bed dreaming. Like, he wakes up in the morning happy, and they're like, oh, what happened? I hurt Sugar. You know, like, that seems like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could see that he really wanted that. And I like seeing that in fighters' eyes. That's when you're like, all right, cool. So, and for Sugar, maybe it's a good thing. Who knows?
Do you feel like any of that was caused from fighting too many times, or maybe overexerting himself in training or something? No,
I think
he didn't fight for a while because he got popped, right?
Well, no, he fought 2 times this year. He fought when we were at the bachelor party. That was his comeback fight. Yeah, he won twice. He knocked out Eddie Wineland that night. Cody Garbrandt did the crazy knockout.
I haven't been
so he's had some recent fights, so I don't know if it's maybe like overexertion or I don't know, but it makes you want to think.
Shit like that, like in the past, like when you see that, it's those are those like stupid small injuries that are just long term that have been ongoing that like will sometimes keep people from being great. You know what I mean? Like Manny Gamburian fighting Nate Diaz, like doing good, and his shoulder fucking just pops out. Like, just a fucked up injury that like, it doesn't matter how good you are, how hard you train, how little you train. Like, if that injury decides to just fucking show its face, it just fucking happens, man. That's what it seemed like too. Like, but the other thing is like, when he started, he looked different. Like he already knew it was hurting him a little bit. I don't think he knew it was going to fucking go numb and flop around, but it looked like something was up immediately. Like maybe he kicked a pad wrong in the back or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Rocky's online. He says, "What's up to everyone?" He thinks that Cheeto kicked the nerve behind the knee. I don't know if it's necessary, all of that.
Well, that's where the huge swelling is behind the knee. He has a huge baseball looking thing
behind his knee.
Yeah.
Oh shit. So yeah, maybe.
It's just hard to imagine with the way that went down and the pain he was in and things like that. There's no like tears or anything like that. I just don't see Sean O'Malley going down like that.
Yeah.
I'm a dick, and I know that Isaac would back me on this right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and say
it. God, where you at, Isaac?
Okay, yeah, if Isaac was on here, he'd back me. And Isaac, when you listen to this is for you, brother, because I know we feel the same way. The only reason he grabbed it and started crying in pain like that is because he lost. That was it. That was it. He was completely fine, bro. He got pounded. He's like, "Oh, I lost. Oh, my ankle. It's the worst ever." Yep, you guys got to carry. If you look at his face, and you watch it, he's definitely, in my opinion, focused more on letting everybody know how much his ankle was hurt than like, I'm not even going to respond to this loss. My ankle hurts so bad. Oh, my ankle.
I noticed like when they're stretching him to the back, he's pulling off his like little ankle guards and stuff like that, looking at his leg, trying to inspect it himself.
He was, but I think, and it could have just been him dealing with the loss. Like, I'm just going to focus on my ankle. But to me, I mean, we've seen guys like fucked up hurt, bro. And like, they just like, usually, you do mask your injury a little bit. You don't just start, like Anderson Silva. It makes sense. You snapped your leg in half.
Yeah. That one was intense.
You rolled your ankle.
Jesus.
So,
Rocky's saying there's a nice little video breakdown on YouTube of his little injury that he has. So go check it out there if you guys have seen it or if you guys watch YouTube. Go check it out.
Or what's next for fucking Vera, man? Who's he got?
I hope he fights somebody like, I mean, pretty good. Like he deserves it.
Now they do, like we were talking about, Sugar and
Garbrandt.
Yeah, throw him up there. Like how we were saying not to do with Sugar, let Sugar build that hype train, keep going. With Vera, that's the guy you throw in the top 5.
Ride the hype train.
Fuck shit up. You smash the hype train of Sugar. Boom, go up. Cardi Garbrandt's looking good. Let Aljamain or one of those guys get Peter Yan for the title, and whoever wins Garbrandt Vera, that's good. Garbrandt's good, babe. I like that. You know what I'm saying? See, now you guys are listening where I get all my ideas from.
Well, Cody's kind of in a weird place. Like, I don't know if he deserves a title shot yet, but he definitely, but he's up there.
He's relevant.
Well, and I think that it would give that guy like some hype too, like beating someone that everyone knows.
That's what I mean. If Vera beats Garbrandt, it's like Vera's the shit.
Yeah.
If Garbrandt beats Vera, it's
He's
like, okay,
back.
like he's coming back, but Vera wasn't ranked, so now Garbrandt will fight somebody else. It's not really a win for Garbrandt, but it's a win for Vera.
Rocky has a good point. Dalavushi, that was training with Sarah, that beat John Dodson. Maybe throwing him in the mix too. He's an up and comer. He's had a few good fights.
Marab.
Rob Dalavushi.
I went for Marab too.
Yeah.
See, I fucking like.
You destroyed it on this card, Chad. You really did.
Not the undercard though. You had me. I was like, fuck. I was like 2-0, Dave. I was like, God damn it. And then the main card started. I was like, yes.
When Burns got smashed in the face, I was like, that's not good. But what'd you think of the main event? Because I personally thought it was a fucking hell of a fight.
Dude,
I thought you couldn't ask more from two top heavyweights.
I tell you what, I didn't know that
DC stood with him.
Oh,
he didn't take the easy route.
Well, it was funny. Like, so that's what we were thinking, the easy route, right? And that's what I was the whole time like, why isn't he going back to the single leg? Like, he had his high crotch every time they clinched. It was and Stipe kept stepping in heavy with that front leg, and like
you could hear
and that counter hook on the way out too.
Well, Bob Cook kept yelling for more wrestling, take the single leg, and we're like, dude, because then DC doing that in the first gave him more right hook opportunities. It gave him more stand-up in-tight boxing because Stipe needed to worry about it. But what was funny, so Bobby said, this is me and Bobby texting afterwards, right? Right before DC gets interviewed, Bobby goes, I think DC felt how strong Stipe was when he got up so easily off that single leg and figured he'd burn himself out trying to keep taking him down and holding him down. Yeah. So, and I'm like, dude, I just thought it'd be like, dump him, get up. Like, not hold him down, just dump him. Him. Vector striking, dump him, get up, which DC really wouldn't just dump him and get up. I didn't think about it like that.
Well, and you could see how strong Stipe was with Francis and Ngannou too. Like, who the fuck can put him against a cage?
Yeah. And
no one's been able to hold Francis down like that. Like,
And Stipe put DC against the cage. Well, the funny thing is afterwards, DC said that basically, like, DC got, like, Stipe got up easy, so he just didn't feel that it was, basically exactly what Bobby said. And I was laughing. I was like, see, I'm not a wrestler. Bobby as a good wrestler, seen exactly and then he was talking about the length of Stipe, because like Bobby was breaking that down with DC and John Jones. Like, John Jones is so tall that like it didn't matter how high DC lifted John Jones in a high crotch, it wasn't really a high crotch. He'd lift him to like a mid crotch, basically. Like, legs can still touch the ground and get down easy. And like, Stipe is not just tall, 6'4", he's strong as fuck. So it was probably like just mad exertion to get that one takedown. And that's what Bobby's point was. And he was spot on according to DC himself.
I had no issues with either eye poke. I thought they were both unintentional. I didn't think it was malicious.
Deep. When you see the picture, the freeze frame, it's like a fucking inch of his finger in DC's eye. His eye was fucked up.
I like how DC says, I just took knuckle deep in my eyeball.
Yeah, fucking finger. I can't see shit.
Torn cornea is what they're saying.
Wow. So, I bet, man.
I was surprised the doctor didn't come in because the eye was pretty much shut when he got up the little break.
It's amazing. Dude, they're both fucking badass champions. Like, that's one of those fights where, like, of course DC wants it for the belt, and he'd like to beat Stipe, but I can guarantee you that Stipe does not want to fight DC again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you watch those three fights, like,
why would you? It was tough.
DC is down to fight Stipe any day of the week. Stipe isn't ever looking forward to fighting DC. Like, it's clear that DC kind of.
DC said that when Joe Rogan was asking him if he would ever come back or whatnot, he said that I'm only looking to fight for belts, and I think that's not an option for me. Yeah. So probably not.
It's crazy.
I think there might be some money fights out there for DC at heavyweight. I doubt he's going to cut the weight.
So now, John, drop the news, babe. Drop it.
Yeah, John Jones this morning said, just got off the phone with the UFC. I officially relinquished my light heavyweight title. It's been real or whatever. And then just a little bit ago, I just checked my Instagram before we got on there. And he said, just got off the phone with the UFC for a contract with heavyweight. Better gain some weight.
Yeah.
So
that's
Bobby goes Jones versus Stipe for the heavyweight title. Then DC comes back to fight Jones for the heavyweight strap. Legit. Now, new contender entering the mix.
Anthony Rumble Johnson is coming back.
Yes, that's a good fight at heavyweight.
He re-entered USADA's program.
Yeah, and she said light heavyweight, but when listening to before I got on social media, I was following Rumble. And he super got into working out again, but he kept talking about come back for the heavyweight belt. And he was saying, like, I'm, when I come back, he's like, I'm down to come back, but I'm only going to fight for a belt. And
You've been saying it for years, Chad, on the podcast that Anthony
Yeah.
Johnson's a heavyweight. He should be fighting
Well,
heavyweight.
and
Well, I don't know how he ever
Anthony
made
Rumble Johnson is
185.
one of the scariest fight. Francis Ngannou is scary. I feel like Rumble though. I feel like Rumble beat Ngannou. I feel like they
Do
both
that fight right
great
away.
power. Huh?
Depending on if Ngannou's the champ or not. I mean, if he loses that fight, do you see him fighting Rumble or?
Rumble's smart, and I really believe he'll only fight for a belt. So whoever's got the belt, Rumble will fight. Like that's what I feel like. And if you're the
But what gives Rumble the chance to fight for the belt? I'm going to argue that because I don't think that he just gets to go to the heavyweight division and just fight people for the belt.
Yeah. She's what she was saying.
Maybe that's why Anthony Rumble Johnson is saying that he might be.
I'm sorry, they didn't hear that, man. I just farted. Did you hear it, Dave?
No.
Oh,
Anyway.
Sorry, guys.
Anthony Rumble Johnson. Maybe he's
mic,
entering for the
you're
light
supposed to rat me out.
He looked guilty. And it's probably going to stink really bad. Anyway, Anthony Rumble Johnson, maybe that's why he's coming in for light heavyweight because it's a vacant title that he knows that he can probably get a chance at.
Well, either way, this is the whole thing too. You got to remember, Rumble Johnson, one, was a star. Rumble Johnson's highlight reel will get any fan pumped up. The next thing is Rumble Johnson only lost in the end in title fights.
Yeah.
He lost to DC twice.
What do you do to what do you do to build the light heavyweight division at this point? Because it's pretty weak.
See, that's the whole thing is like, I think that they're at a point where they don't need to build any division, right? The way they're letting the flyweights die off and shit. Like they know that they don't need to. That the UFC now is so big that they don't need to build a division. A character needs to build himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've entered the realm of boxing, so to speak, to a certain regard, where what the UFC did different than boxing is we recognize superstars, not just belt holders.
Yeah.
Proof, Jorge Masvidal, right? And then they made them a special belt, like outside of all the other belts. So that proved that we're into super fights. And their quote is, "We make the fights that fans want to see." So basically, it turned less into a weight class thing because here's the whole thing: there's so many fucking weight classes. You don't need everyone to be a superstar because you don't have that many belts. You don't have. Imagine every pay-per-view if every belt was defended. You couldn't do it.
No.
You couldn't have that many fights in a night. So they don't need to make sure everyone's a star. They just need to make sure that they have one star ready per month. So essentially, you only need 12 stars in the UFC to fucking sell out every pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like in a real
make the big money.
Yeah, so I mean that's what it is like light heavyweight, it's probably gonna kind of die down. I mean, I
can't see a pay-per-view selling off of them saying Rumble Johnson versus Anthony Reyes or Anthony Smith or whoever else is in that
is gonna sell a pay-per-view, right?
I think so too.
And then
well, you know what? It could be different. Like we know about him because we've been following the UFC for a long time. The people that have started watching the UFC like maybe 2-3 years now, they have no idea who he is.
But that's where they drop the highlight reel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like the UFC has been doing way better recently at developing stars. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the past couple guys that have been coming out, like you mentioned Masvidal and you go back to O'Malley and even Stipe Miocic for a little bit too. They're not just sinking everything into Conor McGregor. You know, they realize that Conor's going to go do his thing. They still got to have people fighting and being relevant here.
Kind of switching subjects, not really, but did you see that Paige Van Zandt signed with Bare Knuckle?
I did see that. That kind of disturbs me because I feel like she's just trying to like hang on to something. She hasn't been impressive in any fights.
Like right the day that she signed, saying, I think everyone thinks that I'm just a pretty face and I want to prove that I love fighting and I don't give a shit about having scars and all this stuff. And I don't know. I've only watched like 2 bare knuckle fights with Chad and I feel like she's
going to get killed. And she needs to drink more fucking milk.
Whoa.
Because her bones are brittle.
Dude, she's got sharp cheekbones. They're going to cut. Her eyebrows are and the
she's
whole right? I just walked into that. But yeah. So, dude, I mean, because those girls, like, It's a lot fucking different.
Wait till one of those Muay
Fist
Thai
to your
lesbian
fucking-
gals.
Well, dude,
you
that's
know,
what I'm saying. Like these girls are butch like in there. Like she's not a fast starter.
yeah.
That's where everyone's missing it. Like you're not fighting 5-minute rounds anymore.
Yeah.
You're not fighting where you can push kick somebody off of you, take your time, or take them down if they pressure you. It's straight up fucking fists only in your face. And the people that are winning are just fucking like
Animals.
They're animals, just swinging.
Yeah.
And that's what she usually does, like in the first couple minutes, is just like kicks.
Yeah. She's a slow starter.
Yeah.
And like in bare knuckle, it's like you can't.
I feel like one of her better portions of her game too is her jujitsu. I mean, if anything, you know, and that's even debatable at times, but I don't see her as a heavy striker.
No,
I don't
not
think so
not
either.
punch, not just striking.
The
either.
only time that she's ever done very
Punching.
well is on the ground.
Yeah. She's not punching at all. It's like, you know, she would do decent with her kicks, you know, pushing off and shit, but like you can't, like it's yeah, poor girl.
I wish she would just go and do like, you know, modeling or porn or something, you know.
That's a classic example of like the fighter's heart. Like clearly I just caught on you said porn. Goddamn, just give us one.
One leak.
I don't even know. I don't know if I would like. I feel like she just like seems too sweet and innocent and smiling. Where I'd be like, this is annoying. Like, one, if she like got into it, I'd be like, oh, you whore! I knew you were faking. Like, I just can't. You know what I mean? Like, I knew you weren't a good person all this time. Like, no, but
you know, Victoria, you brought up WWE, and I'm still kind of a fan. I kind of keep up with some of the storylines from time to time. And there's this new guy. His name's Lars Sullivan, and the WWE's pushing him for months and months and months. And then come to find out, like somebody on the internet found out he did gay porn when he was like 19 or 20, and they posted the videos all over Twitter. And now he disappeared.
Like, gangster, man.
He's trying to earn his money through college.
Yeah, no, that's what they say, dude. Like, I know Kai Green, the bodybuilder, he did some gay porn, but they were saying that what happens is like they'll offer you like tons of money. So dudes are like, fuck it. And like, what did I see? It was we watched it together. Remember the porn star documentary thing? Do you remember that?
Those are good sometimes.
I don't really. I kind of recall something,
We
but
were
I
like
don't remember
hungover
anything
as
about
fuck.
it
That's
at
probably
all.
why. But yeah, it was like, but I think that was the one where dudes were talking like, oh yeah, they'll fucking throw big money at you, you know, whatever. But you don't do that shit unless you're desperate. Then one guy's like, yeah, at first they told me fucking.
Well, for college students, even if like they pay you $10,000, that's a lot.
Yeah.
If I was 20 years, I'm not saying gay porn.
Draw the line there. Maybe do 100.
They're like, look, for 10
Then they get into the roofing business, Bobby says.
for 10 grand, these two dudes are going to be boning, and you got to rub one out in the background. But don't worry, we'll have a girl behind the camera, like touching herself and all this stuff. So you're really just looking at her, but we'll make it look like you're looking at the dudes, and I'm going to give you 10 grand.
Rocky
You
wants
just
to
see
know.
fucking highlight reels of me just.
Rocky wants to know if either one of us would do gay porno. I think you just answered that one.
And, well, what we've determined is that there's a lot of variables and circumstances that.
So probably not. Nobody would pick him up. It'd be too much work.
Yeah, I'd have to, we'd have a thick contract. What's that? What did he write out there? You give
2020 gender neutral match: Chad the Dad Dammerell versus Ronda Rousey. Do it.
Fuck her up, dog.
Yeah,
I got her number.
Who is the fluffer?
I'd get me a cardboard little like Axel's birthday party was yesterday, and we had cardboard cutouts.
That's
like
tight.
Power Rangers for face masks. You know what I'm saying?
What color Ranger were you?
What's up?
What color Ranger were you?
I never put one on.
What the hell?
It was for the kids, bro.
Bro, come on. You got to be the Dad Ranger.
No, I was like, it was super chill.
How was that cotton candy machine?
Fucking sucked, bro. It was horrible. Me and Eva.
I was so excited.
Eva was so excited, and she tried really hard. She tried all kinds of techniques, and I'm like, yeah, the dude said this. She's like this, and she was, dude. We had to heat it up. Then we
tried
moved it
for a long
inside. We
time.
tried inside. I tried in there for a while. She picked off a few pieces. She's like, but it was 100 and something. We were both sweating over this cotton candy machine. And I'm like, I kept creeping back to the shade trying to give advice. And then like, cause it wasn't shaded, bro. And then I'm like, fuck. And she's like, I know. Like you could see how bad she wanted a big ass fluffy.
Who doesn't want a big cotton
Dude,
candy?
it never happened, bro. It turned into this tight wound, like fucking, like basically like a hard sugar stick on a fucking piece of cardboard.
I think that it was not warmed up at all.
But even when I warmed it up inside, when I moved it inside, it was really hot, and then it just started fucking.
Oh, you probably should have put more the new sugar in there.
Yeah.
See, Chad, that's what you get for not asking enough questions.
Bro, what?
No,
I was a little too drunk to care. So
I think Chad was more focused on the water slides.
Here's what happened, bro. Her mom told her, this is what she's done to me our entire relationship. And I catch it. She acted like I didn't know. I remember when we were dating, she said something like, in hindsight, she's probably this smart. She was probably just setting me up like, hey, here's what I'm about to do to you.
I told you until we were married.
She's like, my mom told me that like men like, look, no, because this is like us talking like you told it wasn't your mom, it was your mom's friend said you got the gold. Oh, yeah. Remember, like hold on to the gold like coochie. You got the gold. Everyone's gonna do whatever they can for it. Like you hold on to that and you embrace that power, right? She told me like as when she was young, she was told this shit. And then she tells me later, her mom said, like, look, the thing about men is they just want to be right. You know, like don't ever make them feel like you're smarter than them. Don't ever make more money than them. And if you do, don't let them know you make more money than them. Like all this stuff about like letting a man feel empowered, right? And like, there's been so many fucking times, bro, where like we do so, and I'm like, oh, you knew I shouldn't have done this, or you knew to do this. And she's like, well, yes, honey, but I didn't want to say nothing, you know. And then I started, you know, years and years. I'm like, okay, hold up. You know that shit your mom told you? I was like, don't do that with me. I'd rather be fucking wrong and get it right than fucking be wrong, get it wrong, and then see your smile like, oh, yes, I could have helped you with that. Like, and I'm like, if you fucking make more money than me, fucking do that shit, girl. We gonna live fucking fat. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Well, you could have a sugar mama.
But I love it. So for the listeners out there, anybody trying to order a mail order bride, this is like what they come with. It's like ordering a 1940s housewife. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna show up. What you do in kindergarten, babe? What'd you learn?
We learned how to sew. We learned how to cook. We learned how to clean, how to fold laundry properly.
What were the boys doing while you were doing that?
They were cleaning the playground and repainting it and sweeping the outside yards.
That's kindergarten. That's
green shit, bro. I worked with this fucking Russian dude in Boston, bro. And I was telling him, he's the one that taught me about Day of Woman, March 8th. He's like, Day of Woman. He's like, look, no other fucking day matters. You miss Christmas, whatever, birthday, you know, trouble. March 8th is Day of Woman. He's like, you fucking never fuck that up. He's like, in Russia, the women, he goes, they walk outside just, they have their chins up and they rule the world though. It's just
one day a year though.
Yeah, that's what I laugh about. I'm like, God damn, bro. Like, I'm telling you, dog, Russians fucking, they got that. They're like, yo, I'm 40, you're 21. Let me build your life and future. If you're 24 without kids and married, you're a whore and you're no good. Like you can't be 24 and not be married with kids. Something's wrong with you. Mm-hmm. So the old men get the young women. They're so mean but they set it up good for Americans too. That's the whole thing. Cause they're very, you know, they're men's men, you know, what women here would call chauvinists, right? But really it's just in our blood. That's who, you know what I mean? That's who we are at heart. Yeah. Just fucking, you know, but that's what, so, you know, you're like, oh, hey, let me take care of that. And it's like, well, you don't have to take my boots off tonight. Oh, I love you. You're so sweet. Yes, I am. I'm very sweet.
That's pretty interesting, man. It sounds like you got set up pretty good. Dude, I remember you said you proposed in Russian, right?
Yeah.
And say that for us.
Zemenya zamush. Yeah.
How does he say that, Victoria? Does he say it well? Yeah.
They're very, very formal.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Wild language, dude. Like, it's cool. Like, there was a dude on Joe Rogan, though. He was talking about when he went through, I was sick. Like, he went through Siberia and he lived with these guys that lived, like, literally rode fucking
I know which one you're
caribou
talking
and shit. Yeah. And, like, it was funny because she was always telling me, like, you know, like, I like the way old languages are formed. Like, it's funny for comedy, too, to say, like, I wouldn't say, like, hey, go in the kitchen and do the dishes. It'd be like, dishes, kitchen, wash. That's pretty much how you'd say it. Like, yo, fucking dishes, kitchen, wash. Like, you
Yeah,
don't
in
have all
Russian,
those
you
other
don't have
words.
those words like at, the, or things like that. It's just like boom, boom, boom. That's
Yeah,
what you
get to the
And
point.
then it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Right? Like, to a certain extent, like they say, like the way
Yeah.
you enunciate, where you put the words, like, has meaning. I'm like, I fucking like that, man. That'd be so much simpler.
It
You
is.
Until
catch
you
me.
try to learn it, and then you find out it's fucking crazy.
There was a meme that my sister sent me a few months ago. It says ways to say, I forgot what the word was, but it was like a simple word like,
Go.
oh yeah, it was go. And there was like 10 different ways.
No, there was like 39 different ways. I want to say my
I don't
phone is up there,
remember.
but there was a shitload, dude. And so I go. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna break this down
Here
simple.
it is.
Yeah.
Are
See?
you ready to learn Russian? It's go. There's 48 different ways.
48.
48.
Yeah.
I mean, for 2 letters, G-O. That's crazy.
I feel like why they're all good at math, bro. Because their whole
Rush-
language is some fucking crazy ass fucking equation. you got all these variables you got to consider.
Is there anything like super romantic in Russian that you can just boom say and Chad's just gonna get all fired up?
I did the laundry. Sorry, I thought you meant from a man to a woman.
I don't know.
It tripped me out, bro.
That's funny.
Because for me, it sounds like just an angry language sometimes.
It is an angry language.
Yeah.
I feel like the accent and the way that like Russians speak, like, you know, how we say like the men are just like gruff and they have those like gruff voices. And I feel like women too. Like I feel like I don't have a womanly voice. I feel like I have like a man's voice. So when I talk, I feel like I'm just like being a man. I'm just like
I probably just made her self-conscious by joking about it so much. But no, it tripped me first time. Like, she has no accent. You guys hear it, the listeners out there hear it. She has no accent. So, like, when we were first dating and she's telling me she's from Russia, all this shit, all of a sudden she answers the phone. And it's her mom. And she just starts fucking speaking like full. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it was crazy because no accent at all. Like, and Russian accent to me on a female is like one of the hottest accents you could ever ask for. So I made the joke forever with her, like, yeah, I ordered a fucking Russian mail bride, but she didn't come with an accent, no returns, whatever. Is what it is, you know. But that, like, no accent at all, and then just full blown.
I remember when we used to go to places like, you know, when you were working out of town and we would not know anyone in like a bar or anything, and we'd make those jokes and they thought we were serious.
Oh yeah,
Best.
dude, it's so funny because it's like, yeah, she's like, oh, you know, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, dude, you're gonna die, bro. Like, I loved it.
I'll never forget the time we were all in Tahoe. It was me, Greg, and Johnny and Stuart. And Johnny met that girl and she faked a Russian accent the whole night and acted like she only spoke Russian. Johnny was in love with her, walking around, telling everyone he could understand her. And towards the end of the night, she's like, hey, can I get a fucking cigarette? And we're like, wait, what? You only speak Russian. Yeah. Johnny had like the whole night thought that she only spoke Russian till the end of the night.
So gullible, Johnny. Oh, poor Johnny.
But she had to have been like part Russian or something because like she let herself out. She ordered us coffee, bought us some Gatorades, cleaned up the room afterwards. Like, I mean, she was on it, vacuuming in the morning time, all that good stuff.
A lot of Russian movies.
I don't know. it was the weirdest thing. I realized at that point, like I could have been duped so many other times at the bar. I was an idiot.
It's not bad. It's not an idiot. It's like, I feel like if you get duped, it's because you wanted to be duped. It's like you wanted that to happen. So it's tight. Who cares if you wake up the next morning and find out it was all fake? It was like, I really enjoyed it up to finding out that I was now that you know what? Pretty cool too. Fuck it. In other words, Johnny, I'm just trying to say, if you're listening out there, Johnny, don't be down on yourself that you were duped. You wanted to be duped. You're smart,
and you
handsome
had a
young
fun
man.
night.
Yeah.
What's bad is
Johnny knows
I think
Victoria longer than I have.
I think when Johnny went to the bathroom,
You see fucking Victoria, she's like, yeah, I met Johnny way before. Damn it,
I
Johnny.
met a girl who's not excited to meet Johnny. I mean, Johnny's a good-looking guy. I'll tell you that. Everyone knows it. We just kind of all accept it that when we bring our girls around, they're probably thinking some nasty thoughts about Johnny. Yeah.
You just gotta. It just doesn't have. He walks in the room. It's like, fuck you. Fucking dick. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like,
I've been waiting for Johnny to just come out for years, just so I don't have to deal with him anymore.
I feel like someone like Johnny, when you see them eat a carb, you hate them more. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
no diet.
Wait, hold on. Did that fucking punk just order a burger? Oh, he's eating French fries. Oh, yeah. Fuck you, dude.
Oh man, yeah. Johnny's just one hell of a guy. Mr. Steal Your Girl, right?
Yeah.
Mrs. Steal Your Girl.
That doesn't know hip hop, Dave.
Oh yeah, I forget.
Oh, I thought he was just saying
it's a song.
Oh, is it? I thought he was just saying Mrs. Steal Your Girl. I was like, I like that. Let's call Mr. Steal Your Girl. I didn't know it was a fucking song.
So let's go back to you guys. You guys are Russian. You guys are married. You guys have come over to the United States now. What's next? What's the next thing to conquer? What's the next adventure?
For me?
For both of you, for life.
We know we want to do like a Russian trip for sure. And with Russia, it's complicated because it's how long do you take? How long can you take? When do you do it? So realistically, if we want to do it sooner than later, which we want to go see your grandma.
Yeah.
And
and another big thing that's a huge thing is like we want to go see Russia, like all the tourist stuff, but then I have my family there,
which is two completely separate trips. And I've talked to so many travelers, and it was pretty cool. Like they're like, yeah, there's two ways of traveling. One is you stay in one spot, you embrace it, you relax, and you take it all in. But the other way is see as much as you can, experience it all, right? But you get tired. Like I've done when you are go, you're exhausted and you're like, I can't wait to get home and fucking relax.
But we did like 4 days. We were in Hawaii for like 5 days, but 4 days we were like, go, everything tourist, everything this, and this. And we were so fucking exhausted.
Like you didn't really get to enjoy it because it was just like, fuck, schedule.
Yeah.
And, then the last day we just got drunk as fuck with this couple from the other side of the island in the pool.
That was fun.
It was fucking great.
I follow her on Instagram and we still talk.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know you still talk.
So are there I'm sure there are as of now, but without COVID, are there strict restrictions on traveling and what you have to do to get over there?
I have to get a passport.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember, was it 3 or 4 years ago, there were some restrictions from Russia to the United States, but I think a year ago, everything was fine.
Yeah, no collusion. That's why.
Yeah, and now I don't know about, honey, you're on my thing.
Oh, sorry.
But now with this whole COVID thing, I really don't even think that you're
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
anywhere.
what overseas travel looks like right now. I remember we had where were we going? I think it was it was Disneyland. The cab driver from like
Oh, he was from an African country.
I was gonna say another country.
You guys run into those a lot.
But no, same country as other families. But no, he was like, dude, he was so cool.
So cool.
He was so fucking cool. He didn't give a fuck about. So we land at Disneyland. The first Uber driver shows up, and we're like, yeah, we have a kid. He's like,
oh, this is when we were going back to the airport that
yeah,
morning.
yeah, and he's like, I can't take it. Like, just fucking
So
douchebag,
we didn't bring
dude.
a car seat because we were like, fuck it, it's just too much
We're
work.
like, dude, we're just gonna
Yeah.
hop in the Uber and go, like,
Yeah.
like a taxi cab, you know. And they're like, the first dude, like
no,
was like
no.
appalled, bro. I'm like, fuck you, faggot. Like, fucking kick rocks, dude. Go on.
There you
Like,
We
I-
didn't say any of that though to his
dude,
face.
it's
It's because Chad wasn't out there. I was like,
and I
Gotcha.
walk out. All I had to do, bro, is like clear the door and see his face and him get in the car. And she already knew. She's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." He, you know,
it's okay, I'm
Axel.
gonna call another one.
I got another one coming, and I'm like watching that dude drive away. Like, but you had to see the look on his face. Like he's like, "How dare they?" And I'm like,
Well, it's probably because it was like 4:30 in the morning or something like that.
no
and
excuse. Next guy pulls up. Cool
he's
guy,
like,
right?
no problem.
He's like, it doesn't even respond to the kid. He's like, almost put Axel in the back with the suitcases, you know. But, dude, he's nice as fuck, and he was driving us. He's like, oh yeah, you know, like it never come up. Like another beautiful version when I'm talking about like different. When you meet different immigrants, bro, that actually came from fucked up countries, like, and they're like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like he's driving a cab for a living, and he's
And
like,
he's
this
so
is,
happy.
and he's so fucking happy, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, other people or whatever. But so he's like, we were having heck of fun. He was like kids, but then he started talking about like what had happened. Like, dude, it gives you like crazy insights on political things that happened just from shit that went on in the news. Like to us, the news is just aggravating and insulting. But to his country, when something happened in the news, they shut down his fucking airports. His people couldn't fly out to go in. You had to like, it fucked up his whole, so he couldn't go home and see his family. He couldn't bring family back for a while. Like just because of, I don't remember what it was, but it was really a heinous act of like somebody that.
Okay, I'll be honest with you because I did not talk through that whole time because I knew that Chad was very intrigued, but he was talking shit on because it was right when Trump got into
he was
presidency, and you know he was like super strict, and it's like in the back of my mind I'm like, okay, you're only seeing one side of the story. It's like, what if your fucking country did some shit, you know?
Yeah, that's what, which I get, but see, like I like
but
to
he
pry,
was like so like
I like to pry on it. Like, okay, I want to fully know like all your details on why you feel that. So that's why I say like, you know, objectively, I'm saying like something simple, like to him, that's what it meant. But meanwhile, he was just talking shit. But
that's why I sat back. I was like, this fuck.
Yeah. But
You
like,
know,
I'm gonna milk everything I can all the time, bro. Like I'm a story guy, so I want to
Yeah.
know.
yeah, you are.
I'm like, bring it out, bro. Lay it on me. Let me know. Like, you know, when I'm in that traveling situation. Now, if I was walking
Yeah.
down the street, someone starts talking like that, I'd be like, hey, look, motherfucker, let me tell you something.
So,
See,
so
I always cut people off when I'm like, did you ever think about this? Did you ever think about it this way? What if your country did something? And I don't get those cool details though.
Yeah, so that's, I like that what she does, and she's true about it. Like I love it. Like she's watching that, she's like, let any one of these motherfuckers say something in the country that they're quote unquote from. Let them say something. Let's see what fucking happens. I'm like, you know what I mean? I basically am Trump. You know what I'm saying? Elena's right here, dog. Like, but I laugh because I'd make that joke. Like, dude, I'd make such a good president because like I could speak on like formal immigration laws, like because my wife's an immigrant and stuff. Then like, meanwhile, I realized, oh shit, that's exactly what Trump. And it didn't work for him like at all. Like he did not. Like maybe you just gotta say it, Donald. You know, but no,
That
man,
is funny. Like he never really touched on.
He's
that.
never said it. Like he's never, you know. And I mean, to me, like it's a huge thing, like to decipher like the difference. Like, dude, like even. There's people that I know illegally, like that are working on it to a certain extent or something. That's a whole different subject. But I think that it's a strong point to say, like, hey, this is the beauty of it. Like, speaking in the positive light of it, like what we seen when she was brought in as a citizen, what I've seen traveling and talking to people, and the beauty of where we live is that that guy was able to tell me what he thought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally cannot do that in other countries without.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves is Americans, they just sometimes they don't realize how good we have it here.
Yeah.
And they just talk shit on just like this little minute thing that just bothers them because it's
It doesn't
inconvenient.
even matter in
Like,
reality.
well, if you go somewhere else, go say that and die over there. 'Cause you can't speak your truth or whatever you want to call it.
You know, that makes me think of when we were in Vegas, Chad, speaking of, immigrant taxi drivers and things like that, Chad, on our way to the UFC fights, Chad just decides to show the taxi driver how he shit the bed. And the shit stains all over the bed.
When my butt pinches the sheets and leaves a shit streak. Dude, I just
He's
literally
pulling up pictures.
Just happened again.
So it happened again, but twice in like one little spot, bro. She sent me a picture. I was like, God damn it. But
I was making the bed and I like went like this to the blanket. And our sheets are like white with like little blue speckles. So it's very apparent where it is. I was like, this fuck sat there to put his socks on in the morning.
If there's any sponsors out there, we're looking for a bidet sponsor for Chad. He really needs one extremely
it's the
bad.
farts, bro. It ain't my
It's the
bad wipes.
farts.
It's the farts, man. But it was so funny. The fucking oh God. That driver, it was great because I'm like telling him, like, you know what I'm saying, man? When you like, you like sit down on a white sheet and you like bend over and your butt cheeks spread apart. And then when you sit back up, you don't realize you pinch the sheet up in your ass crack and you stand up and like kind of
No, I don't know.
snap the sheet back to the bed and there's a poop streak there. And the cab driver is looking at me like, what the fuck? I'm like, no, look, bro, this is what my wife sent me. And I show him the fucking photo, dude, and everybody's like, what the fuck?
My cousin leans over to me in the back and he goes, Chad's fucking disgusting, man.
Well, he wears underwear now.
You know what I'm saying? There's a reason.
Chad picked the other day, a group message was going around and my cousin's pooping in a bathroom and Chad was the first one. He picked up on my cousin freeballing it, not wearing any underwear.
He sent a picture of just his like shoes and pants. Like he's taking a shit and I'm like, ain't no underwear in them pants, bro. You fucking freeballing, dog. The first thing my mind went to wasn't, ooh, he's taking a shit. I was like, no underwear.
It's weird how the mind reacts, because you're the first one. I doubt anybody else noticed that, but you picked up on it real quick. Nothing gets past you, Chad. Well, let's get ready to run wrapping this thing up. But before we do, I want to say congratulations to you guys. 7 years strong, going strong, 10 years together, 7 years married, kid 3 years old. I mean, you guys are doing it. Your kid's a gorgeous little kid, blonde hair, looks Russian as hell. But I just want to say congratulations to you guys. It was awesome hearing a little bit about your relationship and how you guys got together and all the love that you guys have.
Well, thank you. In 7 years, brother, we're going to be saying the same to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Couple weeks coming up.
Isn't that
coming up strong?
It feels like wedding season, knowing that it was your guys' anniversary and our wedding's coming up. It's wedding season for sure.
That's it, man. There's nothing like it. Like, I mean, I truly cherish the commitment. I think that if anything, like anybody younger or anything like that, like in a very divorce happy world, or just get it, take it, leave it, dump it, change it, move on, go this way, go that way. Not just when it comes to children behind you, but just even one-on-one. Like, there's nothing like it. Like choosing to say, like, you're the one I'm going to be with. And that, like, I wholeheartedly believe in it. Like, I kind of try to switch my life as best as I can, as like, I'm going to fight with everybody that I love. And the strangers, fuck them. They're not worth fighting with. we always fight with strangers, and then the ones we love, we shy away from, don't say shit. So like, my whole thing is like, what made us.
Well, and if you have a partner too, I feel like we've, I've kind of grown up with Chad. We like grew up.
We did. We went from
became
adolescence
adults together.
Yeah.
We always have to work on, like if one person is like rising above, it's like, okay, I have to rise above too, because we got to stay on the same page. And I feel like it makes both of us better people.
Being cognitive of one another, and like, if I see she's off, I try to be on. If she sees I'm off, she tries to be on. And then like I use the teapot scenario, like it's gonna whistle first. Like, let's talk, before it explodes, before the teapot pops. Let's say some shit. Let's get it out. Like it seems like, oh no, we don't want to fight now. Let's not fight now. And then fucking 2 months later, blow the fuck up because it's the stupidest shit ever. And it's like, what's going on? All I did is it. No, well, you been fucking doing this, that. Where did that come from?
That's a really good analogy, though, the teapot thing. I like that.
It's true. Well, I got that from.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I got that from my grandma. My grandma D.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. That's pretty good.
That meme that always goes around, like when girls, you better run if they say, I think it's funny that. I do that all the time, Chad. If I'm annoyed with something, I'm like, well, I think it's funny that you fucking do this shit. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
But then it honestly just like kind of starts a conversation, and then like we just kind of work through it.
And it's like, dude, it was me, like the fucking, she would make out like a fucking bandit if we got mad. Still does. Because if I get pissed, it's like, oh yeah, you fucking want to talk shit because I didn't do no fucking chores. Watch this, motherfucker. I'm gonna mow the lawn. I'm gonna edge the grass. I'm gonna fucking take that out. I'm gonna sweep this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna remodel. Like fucking. I'm gonna do the base. I'm gonna like.
Yep.
I will get so much shit done in the next 3 hours and be like,
I'm always in the house just being like,
I'm like puffing my chest like, yeah, bitch, you are fucking not talking to me. I'll fucking put my music on. I fucking just work. I'll show you. I'll work. And then I get down. I'm like, dude, you just did everything she was mad about. like, what are you gonna say? Like, oh yeah, like, and I'll laugh. I'm like, because when I'm mad, I just like to work.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
It's motivating, so I just get shit done, and I realize the shit that I get done is everything we were in a fight about, and I get it done in like 2 hours, and she's like, been asking for 3 months. I'm like, I don't have a response right now, but when I get one, I'm gonna let
I just
you
walk
know.
around the house like smirking, like, you're so mad, aren't you?
There's got to be a good ebb and flow in the relationship. There definitely is some give and take.
I say fight, argue, go through it. Like, that's the only way you're gonna get better with one another. Yeah, like she's the first person in my life. Like she said in the beginning that I was blunt with her. I was too blunt. I would say that in hindsight. I'm like, I was a little.
He was mean.
I was mean because I really wanted to, like, hey, I don't give a fuck. This is the way I am. Like fucking, like
how we said we started the relationship like nothing serious. We're not looking for anything. So he was definitely on that page, but he was.
Well, because she was the first girl I told myself, like, I'm gonna be fucking honest with. Like, I don't want to fucking none of this bullshit. Like, and then like, I obviously fell head and heels in love with her, but I just felt like I didn't want anything to ever like surface later. So I was not myself. I was more like an exaggerated version when I would speak of it. I was like over the top with it when it was really never to that extreme. It was just what I was trying to like say up front, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you're kind of a strong personality, Chad. You're unique to deal with at times. I'll just put it to you that way.
Consider myself shy and timid.
Shy and timid. I'll tell you what. I remember.
I don't know shit about myself. That's what I've learned. I don't know. I leave it up to you guys. I don't know shit.
Yeah. You learn who you are as you go in life. You kind of learn a little bit more about yourself each year as you grow, as you mature, as you get married, this, that, and the other. You learn a lot more about yourself. And you learn what you're really wanting in life. You said it last week on the podcast. Who knows what the fuck they want?
That's it, man. You know what I'm saying? We just live with it and go,
you kind of learn too. Like, I feel like I've learned when and how to approach him about certain subjects or things. you know, like when I have to kind of like tiptoe around a subject and
it all, like, I feel like the older you get, the more you boil it down yourself into the cliche sayings that you've heard since you were a kid, you know, pick your battles.
yeah.
Like all those like, you know, what we'd call the old timer sayings, like you start being like, fuck, it's that simple. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why, like, take all the complications out of it, all the fucking extra words and verbiage and paragraphs and backstories, and you just boil it down to those little simple things like, choose your battles. Like, oh, yeah, but what about when, you know, it's like, fuck, dude, you just start, I don't know. It's good though.
Sometimes
I say there's nothing like it to considerably, like, I didn't think that, like, when I got with her, I was 23. I might have just turned, I was turning 24.
Yeah, you're 23.
Yeah, 23, turning 24. Crazy young, end up marrying the girl. I, like, fuck, dude. It was the best thing I ever did in my life. Like, it was the only balance that I have had in my life since I was 23. The only structured balance that I've had since 23 years old was this woman. Yeah. And without that, I mean, I don't fucking know. Maybe I don't fucking know. I might have been on like fucking Naked and Afraid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
Fear Factor would still definitely be on.
All I know, like, changed my life. The moment to, I loved the 3 years prior to, but the moment 4 years prior to he was born, but the moment Axel was born, like, too, I was like, everything I did, it doesn't matter. Wouldn't change a thing. There's no way I could ever imagine going back and changing one little detail, because then this little fucker wouldn't be here right now. So, like, the butterfly effect. I watched that movie too many times. You know what I mean? I'm like, I know how this shit works. Okay? I see this movie with Ashton Kutcher, and if I go back and try to think like, oh shit, you know, I won that fight, then maybe my son ain't born. You know what I mean? Or maybe he's all fucking fucked up and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm happy for everything that we went through, and I love you with all my heart, my queen. Thank you so much for sticking by me through all the shit.
And by the way, Victoria has been the best wife, just alone on the bullshit she deals with your friends. There were band practices, and there were nights that we weren't supposed to go out, and we went out and got wasted after band practice, and we always had dinner, we always had coffee, whatever. She always took care of us.
Some people say believe in second chances, and if anything, my queen, my wife, has made me believe in infinite chances. Like, just infinite, because I can't count how many chances I've got. And thank you, sugar. I
love you. You're lucky to be alive, Chad. Just see that way.
Yeah. Good thing your dad hid the shotguns after our wedding.
Jesus.
That's the scariest thing in the world. When I'm looking her in the eyes, I'm like, why'd you go to Dad's truck anyway? I was gonna get the shotgun. I'm like, what? I was like, what were you doing? I'm like, I wasn't scared at this point. I'm like, what? Were you gonna fucking shoot me? And she looks me dead in the eye, serious and fucking, like, no, I was just gonna shoot at your feet. And I'm like, oh, so you would have, but no, I'm like, so you would have shot me. Like, you know what I mean? I got scared because I'm like, in her mind, she's like, no, I wasn't gonna shoot at you. I was just gonna shoot at your feet, which is the exact type of accident that leads to, how'd your foot get blown off, Chad? Oh, my fucking, you know,
didn't show up on the wedding.
my hour 10 wife fucking shot my foot off because
deservingly so.
Because I stayed out in the mountains a little late.
A little late. Came home at 9 a.m.
You rolled into town like you were not in trouble at all, though. Like, yeah. I remember you and Bobby rolling in.
Because he's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, you son of a fucking bitch.
And
everyone I think the worst part too was like everybody felt so bad for me. Everybody was having breakfast downstairs, and I walked down. Everyone like knew, and they looked at me like, oh fuck, shit's about to happen.
Well, everyone like the closest people to me just happened to be at one breakfast table for some reason behind the motherfucking like restaurant, and they're like, are you just getting back? I'm like, yeah, what's up, guys? And then she walks out, and I'm like, hey, what's up, babe? And then it was like, Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, and all
Reality.
those people have been married for like 30 years, and they're like, "You fucked up."
Yeah. Well, Chad, I remember he knew.
Hey, we started at the bottom, now we're here. Like, yeah, but we're here.
You do know rap songs, hip hop.
Yeah, bro. I'm essentially. I've been working on an album for a long time.
Oh God.
When the tracks drop, bro, it's over. You know what I mean?
You want a little beat? I'll throw a beat on for you.
Huh? Nah, I don't like to like perform like with women present.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
Stay tuned next week.
Yeah.
I'm on like track 1283, but it's all good. Got a good highlight mix.
So, Victoria, thank you again for being on and kind of getting a little bit out there for our fans. I hope you come on again. This was fun.
This was fun. I was a little nervous. That's why I haven't ever been on. But yeah, I want to do it again.
Good. Good.
All right.
So
Yeah,
bad.
maybe
Headphones on, huh?
The headphones, I'm like pouring sweat down there.
Oh yeah.
But this kind of scared me, the microphone, because like what was it, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, because I'm working at the bar in Elk River, and I was like hella drunk, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna karaoke with my girlfriend. And I got up there, the mic went here, and I just completely blanked out. Sarah's husband turned the mic off because I was so bad. So I was scared of the microphone.
It's not the microphone. It's when you get up and you're like, fuck yeah, you're looking up on stage.
There were 6 people in the bar.
It doesn't matter. but the moment that you get on stage and all 6 people look at you like, okay, it's like.
And Dave, we were rapping the M song "Crack a Bottle."
When I showed up the next weekend, Sarah, the girl that works with her, she's like, so we have a new group. It's called Women M. And I'm like, okay. All right, yeah. I'm like, I can't wait to hear more about this. Continue. Yeah, let me just fill me
that
in.
one night. Chad one night went to Finn's back when you guys were living here, and he was so wasted. He's like walking around. He grabs the microphone. He's shirtless, and he's just going around like just talking, for hours. Just talking for hours on the microphone, like going up to people, interviewing them.
The mic on and didn't kick me out. Like why? Like I asked Mark and Jess, like I started doing stand up. Basically, what I thought was, I guess, I don't know. I think I remember standing on stage.
I think that was that night when I got really mad at you.
It was from the Amblers Club.
And I left, and I told him I was leaving, and he told me that he was coming with me. So I waited in the car for like 20 fucking minutes, and then I was like, "Fuck this fool," and went home.
And that was, we were all playing guitar in the back.
And I think that's the night that you pissed on the floor.
Probably. Probably the Tim Tebow fucking.
Yeah.
Well, because I think Mom and Dad were leaving a few days after that. Mm-hmm. That's why we stayed there. It was the last Christmas there. The Amblers Club. We did a party. We were all playing guitar.
Night.
Huh?
That wasn't that night. That was when they came to visit.
Oh, that was a different night?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we won't talk about that night.
There's been a lot of those nights at the Amblers Club.
I remember it was one of those nights I had a bottle of Vicodin. I called Dave the next day. I'm like, Dave.
That's that night.
Did you take all my Vicodin? He's like, Chad, you were fucking popping those things like Tic Tacs. You just kept throwing them in your mouth. And I'm like, what? I'm like, hell no. He's like, dude, for real.
I think you took like 10 before I left.
Oh my God.
That's why I wanted to drive you home.
That's what's fucked up.
Like a fake knee surgery or something during that time?
It was before,
from
it was
the
your
meniscus,
knee,
my meniscus surgery. So that's when I had a bunch. But I remember waking up like I had like 2 in my bottle. I'm like, fucking Dave, dude. I'm like, fucking Dave and Bobby must have got my fucking bottle and took all my shit, man. Knowing full well, remembering what I did the night before. I'm like, that had nothing to do with the pills.
Yeah, you came home at like 3 a.m. and he sleeps naked. So he got like completely undressed, got in bed, got hecka dizzy. He's like, I have to pee. Like rolled out of bed, like bumped into the door in our bedroom, and then just, like semi fell on the floor to his knees and just started pissing on our bedroom floor. And I'm like screaming, yelling at him, like, go to the fucking bathroom.
I'm sorry, babe. I can't move.
Bed?
I was like, I can't move.
What?
Has Chad ever pissed the bed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since you guys have been married?
Yeah.
Once, yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
I've
Not
pissed it
drunk.
like
That's totally sober, bro.
yeah, I did it twice. And one time I was wasted and one time I was sober, but either way, it was just horrible.
More than once. I just covered it up the other time. She just didn't know. But straight up sober, dude. Like, seriously, as an adult, like
I've done it too. I'm dreaming about going to the bathroom.
Yeah. That's usually what it is.
I always in my dream, I'm peeing in the dream, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm peeing forever.
Yeah.
There's no relief. And I just keep peeing. I'm like, what the fuck? And the moment I feel relief, I wake up and realize I just pissed all over myself and my wife.
The last time I pissed the bed, I did it dead sober. Same thing. I was dreaming, had to piss, let it out, and everything just got warm. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I get out of bed and I look over and Amanda's sleeping and she doesn't sleep well. So I'm like, if I wake her up, she's going to flip out on me. It's like 3 a.m. So I just put a towel over it and went and slept in the guest room. And she was so mad the next day.
Lysol and some towels. Yeah, but at least you let her sleep. See, that's why you're a good husband. You're like, yo, a shit boyfriend would have woke you up and told you to clean it up. But I'm looking at being your future glorious husband, and I covered it with towels and let you sit in.
It was so embarrassing. I actually started one time, like when me and Amanda were dating. This one I'll tell, and then I'm done. I promise. But I was working in the garage. I drink those Martinelli apple ciders, dude, and for some reason, every time those things, it's just like bloop. And I went to go fart, sharted, go to the back door. I'm banging on the back door. She lets me in, and I'm like, I just shit myself. I'm holding my shorts like so no shit drops out of the shorts. It was disgusting. And she's just cool with it. She's like, you want me to start a shower for you? Like, it's okay, babe. And I'm like,
yeah.
You should be mad about this. What the fuck's wrong with you?
We were saying like, wow, you're handling this really well. I know you're not happy about it, but the way you're reacting is really positive.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful.
Oh, man. I was so pissed though, man. It's embarrassing shitting yourself, pissing yourself with your wife in the bed or future wife.
I don't know how many times I've shit my pants in front of my wife.
Oh, God. We were just talking about on the drive how many times that we pulled over because he had to take a dump on the side.
Fucking horrible.
How many side of the road dumps have you taken on the way to Idaho? Like throughout your life?
I can't answer that question. I can't. Like when I was riding with my dad, none, zero. I had a fucking something about fear will make you hold your shit and piss because I never broke once. Like with my father, there was no way.
Tell him to pull over.
There was no way. Like I knew we had 4 stops, and like if you even fucking muttered like, I think I have to pee. And my dad gave you one look. You're like, I'm good for 10 years. That's cool. I'm fine. I can hold this fucking till I graduate. Like there's no need. You know what? Never mind. It was just a thought. We'll just keep going.
I'll
just never mind. Fuck it. My dick can fall off. And then like the more I started driving myself, I'm like, I'm a fucking man, bro. I'm on the road by myself. You know what? I need to shit. I'm going to pull over and I'm going to shit on the side of this fucking road right now. And ain't nobody going to say nothing. Except for all the
one
people
time
honking.
We were driving. It was like one of the last times we drove to Idaho. He had a poop. And I'm a road trip Nazi. I'm like, I want to fucking get there. And we have 4
I trained
stops.
her.
That's
and
it.
I trained her, but she like subscribed fully to the theory. And I'm like, I was
so fucking mad. I'm like, hurry the fuck up. Are you done?
It's fucked up, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you know that makes you freeze up.
Dude, I got to figure out a way to train Amanda on that because she was like every 5 minutes on the way to Idaho, like, hey, baby, is it all right if we pull over? I go, maybe in like 5 hours, 6 hours.
Horrible. It's horrible. Nothing like it's just a quick stop. It's like, look, obviously you're not good at math because
I also know
do the
how
deceleration
long Chad takes to take a shit.
Like 2 minutes.
No.
All right, we got to start wrapping up though, brother.
Yes, sir. Everyone, thank you for tuning in to episode 55. We're brought to you by Calaveras River Farms, Monroy's Original Hot Sauce, and Retro Grappler. Go check them out on Instagram. Give them a like. Tell them Center and the Saint sent you, and they'll give you some much needed love.
Happy anniversary, baby. 7 years. I love you.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. Everyone's loving it. The comment section is blown up. I was trying not to interrupt you guys, but everyone's like, I love Victoria and Chad's relationship. Marriage is wonderful. Chad, quit shitting your pants.
Yeah. There's no conversation that's going to happen with us that it doesn't end in me shitting my pants. I feel like it's inevitable.
Chad, stop saying the word fag. Okay. So there's a lot of comments on there, Chad. All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Chad, Victoria, I love you guys, and I will see you in a couple weeks.
Love you.
Love you, brother. See you soon.
All right.